I'm Alex Stone, former military service member and law enforcement officer. Now CEO of Echelon Protective Services, one of the fastest growing private security firms on the West Coast. And this is Ride Along, where our guests and I witness firsthand the issues affecting our community. I believe our proven method of enacting meaningful change through compassion and understanding is the best way to make our streets a safer place and truly achieve security through community.
Hey, my name is Ricky Franco, and I'm the pastor over our Love Now Ministries at CROSSROADS Community Church. And I'm so excited just to be joining Alex and loving one another as we're really looking at how do we continue to support and really collaborate together to serve our community in whatever ways that they need. And so, man, I can't wait to be with you guys. So excited to be here today.
Hey, welcome back to the Ride Along. Alex Stone here, principal of Echelon Protective Services. We're here for a ride along. Today's amazing guest, Ricky Franco. He's a buddy of mine. Amazing history, but even a more amazing present in his life, what he's doing today. Ricky, why don't you introduce yourself to the folks?
Yeah, for sure. My name is Ricky Franco. I'm currently the pastor over Love Now Ministries at CROSSROADS Community Church. And man, we work to serve locally, nationally, and globally.
Awesome. I love that. So today you're here for the ride along.
Yeah.
We went to a coffee. We talked about it.
Yeah, so good.
And it is good. I think that what we're doing, the type of work that we're doing is community transformation.
Yeah.
And there's a real bridge. I think we're really doing the same type of work, right?
Yeah. And it starts with those connections, right?
It does.
Right?
It's all through relationship.
Yes.
Everything's about relationship. And so one of the reasons I really wanted you as a guest is I think that you, because of your past, have a unique perspective as to a lot of the issues we face, not just as a nation, but as a local community here in the Portland metro area.
Yeah, where our past connects us to exactly where we're going and what we're doing, right? And God
always
gives us that our past for a reason, so we can use that for where we're at and where we're going. So,
yeah, we can either fail and fall into a pit, or we can build character, right?
Yes.
And I think that you chose the character route.
Hey, you know what? I'm trying still, man. I don't.
Right. So, kind of bring us back in time, young Ricky.
Okay. Oh,
young
man.
Ricky.
Oh, I'm still scared of that one.
I know. The young Ricky, he's no longer here with us.
Yeah.
We'll talk about him in past tense. So, where did you grow up? What state and what city were you from?
Yeah, so I grew up in Tucson, Arizona. I was born in California, but really what I remember is Tucson. I moved there when I was about 5, 6, and that was my home for 30 years. And growing up there was interesting. We lived in what we called South Tucson, which was technically another little city in Tucson. And it was Hispanic, 99. I think on my elementary school it was like 99.99% Hispanic.
There was an old white veteran who still lived in his house like that.
That would be it. Yeah. And the school, there was like the one white kid and one African American, and everyone else was Hispanic, and that's it. So that was my context, right? I grew up in that, and it was interesting because there was a lot of, poverty, right? A lot of gang life. A lot of that was where I grew up in.
Zero-gen, first-gen immigrants.
Yes.
Right. Specifically from Mexico, Central America.
My grandma, she was the first generation here. She was illegal coming down here, and didn't get her legal status until she was like 80 when she was here.
Wow.
But she was working. She was living the life. She wanted her kids to be here and have that good life.
American
and so
dream.
that's what she did, right? And she sucked it up and did it, and raised her kids, and we were all raised in that same area. So
it's amazing. So young Ricky is growing up. You're living in a majority Hispanic area.
Yeah.
And around that community, because it's a very, the Hispanic community, the Latino community it's very rich in faith.
Yes. Yeah.
But there's also part of that community that's like la onda. It's it's that way of life.
Yeah.
It's that criminal lifestyle.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And at what point were you sucked into like la onda, that kind of gang life?
Yeah, I think it's so hard because there's such poverty that is prevalent in that area, and really in that community and really that culture. A lot of it becomes of what you look like what are you presenting on the outside. So what kind of car do you drive? What kind of clothes are you
Always.
wearing? Even
Always.
though you know you're living in poverty,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Everyone knows that they're in the midst of poverty,
Yeah.
yet you want to have that show. And so
You got to.
to be able to do that, you got to make money. You got to have the staff right, and you got to do the thing. And for us, because of the opportunities that we have, or at least we felt like the only opportunities we had, because of lack of education or wherever it came from, right? Our own cultural mindset, probably.
You growing up and the homies or the people on the street with the money and the Impalas and the cars and the girls, you're all like, well, how do they have that?
Yeah.
You're 8, 9, 10. You're like, well, how did he get that? And then
Yeah.
someone finally tells you, oh, he's doing this or he's doing this dirt, right?
Yeah. They're selling here and they're selling drugs here. They're doing this and that was the life. So for me, my mindset growing up, starting to get into these teenage years and thinking like, okay, what does my future look like?
Yeah.
In my mind, there was only two options. For years, there was only two options: either end up in jail, or end up dying on the street.
That's right.
And so I knew those two things I was going to do. And so before I reached either of those ends, I'm going to live it up. Right. I'm just going to do the thing.
You kind of made this conscious decision.
Oh, yeah.
At what age were you? 12, 13? What were you?
He was probably like right in there. Yeah. Hitting right into those.
It's always
teen
that
years
age, right?
Where you're right. Yeah. You're at that cusp of like that transformation in life. And for us, that was really the only choice though. In my mind, as I think back
Were you
now,
recruited or was that a choice that you made because I was recruited.
Oh, yeah.
I had a guy named Javier recruit me.
Okay.
He already had a crew of like maybe 3 or 4 other kids, and then they introduced me to him, and he was like, hey, he basically said, you're going to steal radios from me.
Yeah.
And you owe me every Friday, you owe me at least 2 radios.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, oh, okay, I got a job, and he would give me like $25 a radio. This is the 90s.
Yeah. That was some bank right there, man. You were rolling in it.
Right. You can buy all the candy you want.
Yeah, no recruitment, but it was more of a like that. That's just who I hung out with, and that's what they did. And I was like, "Yo, can I just get that? Like, I want to be in that. Like, what do I got to do to be in that, right?" And so it was simple to get in, not easy to get out, right? In our minds, at least, it wasn't easy to get out.
It's so funny, in law enforcement, they say because my background's. Eventually, luckily, I was kind of through foster care and different means got out of that life, but. In law enforcement, we say that it's the hardest job to get and the easiest job to lose. But joining the gang, it really is the easiest job to get and the hardest job to leave.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and especially if you're growing up and and not having a dad, right? Same time, right in there. My dad goes to prison.
He was in that way. He was living that life.
He was living that life. Yeah, he had grown up as a gang life in California and came down. And he had a time where he went to the church and he became a pastor at one point. And so that's kind of how I grew up in the church as a young age. And then my dad just went back into it, right? And he ended up in prison. And so in my mindset, the church wasn't the way for me. Like, that was just the hypocrites. I was like, they're just going to end up like him anyways. Why do that, right?
And they didn't have nice cars.
Yeah, and they didn't have nice cars.
Right.
They didn't have the stuff, man. They did not.
Yeah.
And so, so seeing that, I was like, man, that's just where it needs to be. And so it was an easy choice where the home's broken, dad's in prison, mom doesn't know where to go with stuff, right? She can barely hold up herself.
And she might even. I bet you even helped her pay bills sometimes.
However it looked like, and it was weird because it was like, how do I support my mom? But I don't want to be in there because it's too emotional, right? I wouldn't have seen it at that point like that. Yeah. But for me, it was too much in my feelings. So like, all right, mom, I'm gonna keep you up, but like, I got to do my thing. I can't be here. This isn't a family anymore. And so the guys on the street, so that was family. Like, I knew they would be there for me. I knew they would support me. I knew they would get my back. I knew that if I needed to talk, they would be there to talk. Like,
that's right.
That was it. And so to either choose between having a family or not, I mean, that's an easy choice for any kid, I think, always, at that time. So.
Especially because you're vulnerable. You have no protector, provider, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I'm 12 years old. Now I got to be a man. Yeah. But I don't know how to do that. Yeah. So I'm going to I'm going to surround myself with other people so we can protect ourselves.
Yep.
And so eventually you get clicked in.
Yep.
We don't talk about names here.
Yeah. No, for sure not. Yep.
We've had, some of our guests have been former shot callers of entire prison gangs.
Yeah.
We've had OGs from different organizations here.
Yeah.
And so we don't get into that because we don't want to glorify that lifestyle.
Nope. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
But you get clicked into a well-known type of gang.
Yeah. Yeah.
And obviously, almost always in the Hispanic community, there's always a cartel connection.
Oh,
because the drugs and a
Yeah.
lot of the money
Yeah.
is coming from the top and it's filtering down to the gangs,
Yeah.
which are really like the feeder teams, the minor leagues.
Oh, for sure.
For the cartel, they're like
Oh, yeah.
building up their reserves.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, and I mean, in our neighborhood, it became that where a lot of the guys that were part of that whole gang, part of the clique, like there was fronts, there was job fronts and stuff. They had tire companies. They sold rims. They did body shop stuff, whatever it was, right? But really, they were.
We
selling.
always did, or the group I was with, we did, car washes always, and then tanning salons.
Oh,
These guys love tanning salons. I don't know.
Yeah.
They had like 20 tanning salons.
Yeah.
So so you're working for OGs. This is a real criminal operation.
Oh yeah,
you're like a
yeah.
teenager.
Yeah.
And so you're making your money. How are you making your money?
Yeah, so a lot of selling. I mean, we sold on the streets, and at some point it kind of morphed into this where like if you want to make some real money, then we do some stuff where we were right next to Mexico, right? Mexico was like another part of the hometown right there.
Yeah, bro.
Maybe
It's literally When we were kids, I don't know how old you are, but when I was a kid, we would just drive down like as high school kids and walk across and
all the time.
Yeah, it was no big deal.
It was easy. It was
I'm
easy
from
to go
Texas.
back and forth.
Yeah, all the time. And so you're going back and forth from Mexico.
Yeah. So we took on that that coyote lifestyle, right? Where we're picking up people, we're bringing them over, and you make a certain amount of head, and it was easy. And right when I got my license, it was kind of like, all right, you ready to go?
So you're 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
And you see other people making money.
Yeah.
It's a lot safer than narcotics trade.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
And so you make the conscious decision to go into human trafficking.
Yeah. That's kind of what it is. And now, as a kid, how do I? I don't.
You
know
don't
this.
know.
I had no idea.
Because a lot of people think human trafficking is always commercially, sexually exploited persons, especially minors, especially with movies out now, things like this. This is the real buzz, but the majority of human trafficking is actually for immigrant labor.
Yeah.
Right?
And for us in living in that culture, living in that lifestyle, seeing who our brothers were there, like it was really given to us as like, man, we're helping them out.
Yeah.
Like they have nothing over there. Like we need to help them out. Let's go do this.
People in poverty, they can't feed their families.
We're going to come bring them over and we got to make some money at the same time.
That's right.
So like for us, it was like a simple thing. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's go help our brothers. Let's get them over here. Let's get some money. Yeah.
So you actually just drove through the border.
Yeah, but there's a lot of roads that you just drive across. Yeah,
wow.
for sure.
Wow, this is crazy, bro.
And they know that. I mean, and yeah, it's an interesting trade, and it's interesting. My brother now he does border patrol, and then now he's a police officer actually in Tucson.
I did not know
patrol.
that. That's legit.
He was he's border patrol for a lot of years, and so we talked through that, and he's like, yeah, there's a lot out there.
It's a lot,
man.
A
lot out there.
So tell us an experience that you had with being a coyote, which is that's a slang term for human trafficker.
Yeah.
Right. Where you felt like this is too dangerous. What am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, why did I make this decision?
Yeah. I think it was not necessarily like the danger to myself. I think what began, and now I can see it. I don't think I even saw it then though.
Wow.
But I think I can see, like, as I look back and why I was like, no, this is, it began to feel wrong. Even for the people that I was doing it with, there was a time that we thought we were going to get caught. We pulled over and we kicked everybody out of the car and said, "Get out!" Like
in the middle of the desert.
In the middle of the desert, just go.
Scary stuff. People die out there all the time.
Yeah, and I was freaked out for my own safety, right?
Yeah,
just
of course.
Self-serving, kind of like, no, you guys got to get out of the car. They took our Friday night, left, and later on, I think back and I'm like, man, what happened to those people? Like, what was I doing in that moment? And like, what really happened to them? I don't know to this day.
So no one ever was able to go back for them.
And I think they did. Like, there was conversation. They're like, we're going to go pick them up. We got this. Just go, kind of thing, right? And for me at that moment, I was like, man.
Nowadays, they have like, caches with clothing, water, and food.
Yep.
And you can typically, geolocate them. You can even give a group a phone and they can find their caches along the way.
Yep.
And so, but how many people were left out there? Like two, 3?
It was about 3. Yeah.
Three.
Yeah.
Man, that's tough, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And so I think that began to weigh on me. And as that kind of like that moralistic concept begins to start weighing on my brain as a young kid, still 17, 18.
Your brain's not even fully developed.
I'm like, what are we doing? And so that starts seeping into all the things that I'm doing, from us selling in the streets back home, and all the things I started thinking about, like, man, where's my life going? What am I doing? Right? Is my trajectory still either going to end up in jail or going to die? And I'm like, if that is that right? Like, is that what I'm supposed to do?
Is there another option out there?
Is there something else? Right? So that's where my life started taking me. Like, what are we doing? And I think it took a while, though. There was a lot of steps to the full transformation of, like, I need to get out of this thing. I can't be here anymore. But for me, that was one of the first big steps. Like,
Well, for me, in my journey, it was the guy that recruited me. But when I got older, he was killed in his hotel room. And then I realized just how expendable that life is. It's, you're literally just a tool of somebody else. And they don't care about you. You're making the money, and if they have a problem, you're just gone. Right. And so for you had a type of a crisis of faith. Right. You're like, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm doing. I need to figure this out. Right.
And that's interesting that you talked about somebody dying. I mean, it was the same thing. It was kind of right after that, maybe a few weeks later. A good friend that was in it with us too was doing a deal in some parking lot and ended up getting shot. And so all those things together are like, yo, what are we doing, man?
Right. So you lose your homie.
Yep.
Right. And at the same time, you're also starting to date a young lady at this time, right? Who's now your wife.
Who's now my wife,
And so kind of explain how you're in this crisis moment where you feel like you should be doing something different, but you're still hopeless. You don't feel like you have a sense of agency. Because when you're in that life, you really feel like you don't have the choice to you don't feel like you would just be grasping for something that's not even there. Right? And in order to do that, you have to have faith. Right. If it's not like if you grow up in a nice family and your father went to Harvard, and they can, the majority of people who go to Harvard are children of people who went to Harvard. Right? Like when there's no path set before you, and all you're given is, that life. It takes real faith to believe that you can do something beyond that. And so, at what point did that faith enter your life? At what point did that idea come into your mind?
That's good. I think in the same kind of crisis of time, and in my mind, I remember somebody asking me, like, man, it was kind of, he must have been like an evangelist kind of guy from the church, and he was like, so like, what are you doing with your life? Like, where are you gonna end up? And the first thought in my head was, I'm gonna go to hell. Like in my mind.
Oh, wow.
And I was okay with it. Like that's what the crazy thing is. Like in my mind, I'm like, they're probably partying there. It's cool, right? That's what I thought, right? And as I pastor, I think back now, I'm like, man, I was lost, man. I was lost. When my wife had come into my life, it was when I was about 18.
So about a year after this moment of crisis.
Yep. And so she kind of got in. I was still in it, doing some stuff, and I remember
you're becoming an OG at that point.
Yeah.
Right,
that's true.
You got young bucks, 12 to 15, 16-year-olds who are running for you.
Right? And so seeing her and thinking, man, if I'm in that crisis of idea, like, okay, what is there? Is there a future for something else? Is there a future with somebody else in some other place? And she comes into my life, and I know in the beginning we're trying to talk, and she hated it. She was like, I ain't in this thing. Like I ain't in that life, right? I can't do that with you.
Was she from the neighborhood?
She was. She was in the neighborhood for sure. I hadn't known her. Like I hadn't really known her, and but she knew of that lifestyle. She knew a lot of people in that lifestyle. She was like, I don't need that, right? And so
she grew up in that life, and she made a conscious decision not to be a part of that.
Yeah.
But yet you dated her anyways.
You're right. Well, she dated me because I'm pretty sure I tricked her into it somehow. I don't know how that happened, but
Ricky Charm.
That's what it is, man. Come on. It was probably good, man. I don't know, 6 months, 8 months before she finally agreed. Like, all right, I'll go, but you need to stop some stuff. Right.
Oh, wow.
And so in the beginning, it was kind of like, all right, I'll stop those things. I didn't really stop a lot of it, but
Yeah,
I try to make a show of it, try to
Yeah,
make
of course,
it different.
yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
seeing that relationship grow, seeing how she lived life, not needing to be in all of that, really began that changeover for me.
So you saw the worth in her life development.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, maybe this is possible.
Yeah.
So she was actually building a new vision for you.
Yeah.
As you grew, as you fell in love with her, her life paralleling yours, you were like, wait, there is a way out.
Yeah.
She's doing it.
Yeah. She loved me even through the things that I was going through, because she saw something in me that I probably didn't even see in that moment, right? And who I was. And there was a lot of places where she helped get me out of, it's still trouble with the law and still owed a bunch of debt to the city and all these things, right? Because of the decisions I had made. And she decided to still walk with me through all of that. She was going to school, and she encouraged me to go back to school with her. And so in those moments, as I'm making those changes, like I start seeing the separation between me and the people that I was with all the time.
100%, yeah.
And I had to make a decision at that moment, like, all right, what am I going to do? Am I going to go and try this new thing that I don't know what that looks like and I don't know what that means and that's scary? Or do I just continue to do what I was doing, right? And so that there was a moment where I had to make a decision. It was a decision for her. It was a decision for a new life, whatever that looked like. Spiritual, mental, like there was all of these things that I had to choose, and I choose to get out, right?
So that relationship bridged a new sense of family.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It brought you to a better place where you could make a decision for yourself. Gave you agency. That one relationship. Gave you family. Gave you worth, and which led to agency.
Yes.
The ability to make a decision for yourself. Without outside influence. And you chose to get out. Now, that's very difficult to do. Explain that process to the folks.
I think there's so many different places, especially you hear all the stories about getting jumped out or the retaliation that comes afterward and stuff. And I think under God's blessing, it was like the perfect timing, almost like a perfect storm for me to be able to get out from who was currently incarcerated at that moment, troubles within the whole gang itself with people dying and going.
So
to stuff,
leadership was recently incarcerated.
Yep. And so there was
other leaders had died.
Yep.
So there's a vacuum of leadership.
Yeah. And so it was kind of like, through the relationship, because I'd been in it for a few years at that point, right, with people, and it was really this conversation, like, man, I just can't do this anymore. And we truly had a conversation, and the homies that I was with at that moment, they were like, that's cool, but then you ain't ever coming back. Like, just know that. And saying, all right, and leaving that kind of time where we met up, and I haven't seen him since. Like, that was it. And that was like these relationships I had to sever out of my life to say, if I'm going to head a new way out, then these are gone. And that's it. And that was hard. It was painful. It was painful.
When you grow up that way, it never leaves you. There's an imprint that it puts on you.
No, for sure.
You have an understanding of a sense of darkness that's occurring in our inner cities. And it's a very, very profound understanding of the darkness that a lot of children are pulled into, that lifestyle. And so you have this in the back of your head. And so what are you doing now? What are you a part of now that you're reaching back into the community?
I think I love that. I love that the Lord works through all of our trials and tribulations. And sometimes when we're in the midst of them, I know when I was in the midst of a lot of that, I could never have seen a future. When that question came up, like, what's going to happen next? I want to go to hell. Like, that was just the answer. Like, I couldn't see any other future outside of that. I guess what led me to what I'm doing now is the sense there was a lot of transformation in my life. So that was the first transformation. Like, mentally, I had to decide there's something else other than what I'm living in. So that mental transformation had to occur. That happened a lot to do with my wife and us getting married, having kids, being a father. Like, there was all this.
And you have how many kids again?
We have 8 total.
That's dope.
Eight
kids, man.
Amazing. And so seeing that as a father and as a husband, and like, all right, I got to learn to be a man now. I don't know what that means, but I got to do it, right? So there's a lot of mental transformation that occurred, and with that, I realized that I was not strong enough, and I was not enough to be able to do that alone. And so for me, I was like, so then what's still missing? Like, I have a wonderful woman, I have kids, like I'm starting to do something with my life.
Yeah.
I get a job, like a real job finally, making
Nice,
money and taking care of my family.
Awesome.
It was great. But I was like, man, what's missing?
You don't have to hide your money in a shoebox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Open a bank account. What? Take out a loan. Okay. There was a lot of great stuff, but still knowing like I'm still missing, right? And I remember me and my wife getting to a few years in, and she was like, man, we need to go to church. And for me, that brought up a lot because again, my dad was in it, hypocrite, the church didn't come alongside. Like it was a lot in me, and I was like, I don't know about it, but hey, again, my wife, like she was like, I need us to do this. And, all right, I'll do it with you.
So she was a Christian.
She grew up Catholic,
of course.
So Catholic Christian, yeah. But so she grew up in that. So a lot of it was just kind of like the going because you go.
This is what
kind
you
of
do.
thing. This is what you're supposed to do. We both kind of grew up in that. You're supposed to do that, right? And so she knew too. I think she was feeling that like, well, we need to go back because that's just what we're supposed to do. All right, great, let's go. Make a show for the kids. Kind of in my mind to begin with, like the kids should grow up in it. They should hear this. So we started going, and from that point, we began a spiritual transformation. That was kind of that next piece for us. We had the mental part that was starting, and then we needed that spiritual component. And so we started going to church at Calvary down there in Tucson, and just great Pastor Robert started building into us, started really speaking into our lives,
great,
and
wow.
some great people came alongside. So again, when it was there, we started creating these initial relationships that begin to grow us beyond just like, oh, this is just what people do at church. Like, just read the Bible. This is God. Like, it was real and it was tangible. And it was those one-on-one relationships that we began to see in the church that really began to change our minds on.
Kind of intentional mentorship.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. It was a blessing to be able to hear like, all right, there's an opportunity to come up and be able to use what I've done. So working from in the church, for working for a school as a teacher, working as a principal, working for a nonprofit organization, kind of reaching the community and seeing people in a lot of different lights, being able to come up here to work with the Love Now Ministries, which is what I do now.
Yeah, right there.
All right.
Yeah.
Doing that kind of culminated and brought all of that together, right? Looking at my past of what I knew I was in the midst of, seeing how I was able to work with a lot of different people and understanding that, man, each one of these people are such an individual. Like, they're so different, whether it's the kids in schools, whether it's people on the streets, whether it's working with government agencies or businesses or churches, like there's so much within every single person. And are we going to take that moment to learn about them? Are we going to take that moment to really live life with people? Are we going to take that moment to really love on people? And so coming here and hearing about the Love Now Ministries and their goal to reach the community, I was like,
that's fantastic.
That's it.
It's about building relationships, right?
Yeah.
Providing the type of relationships that can lead to personal transformation.
Yes.
The kind that you went through. And then if you can do that and you can hit a critical mass within a geographical area, then you're about to achieve community transformation.
Yes.
Right. And that's really the goal.
Yeah.
The goal, and that's the goal of the company. That's the goal of our
Yes.
company is right. And the nonprofit Loving One Another is to build those relationships and to create a network through community engagement that allows for the entire community to be transformed.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what I love when I heard about your loving one another and you guys are talking about, I was like, that's what we're doing, man. We're creating those connections. And
that's exactly it.
And so, and so in my mind, it was like, man, how do we continue to grow in that place where we're not any one organization, company is saying we're going to make the change, but it's how are we all going to connect to make a big change, right? How do we start creating a culture shift within the mindset of everybody to say, we're all going to do this together. And it's not they're doing it and they're doing this. No, we are all doing this together. Right?
We realized this early on that this wasn't just something a nonprofit had to do, that our for-profit company, Echelon, we operate in 6 states. I don't know how many people we have here locally now, probably 60 to 80 in the Portland area. And we realized if this mission is going to work, we have to use the private company to push this mission. Yeah. And so when our guards are out, and all we do is basically security, neighborhood patrols. Yeah. We carry totes, we carry supplies, and I tell my people, I want you to learn 2 names every day of homeless people. Yeah. 2 names every day. And I want you to engage every single person you see on the street. Yeah. Ask them how their day is. Yeah. How are you doing? What do you need? Do you need any help?
Yeah.
And if people have real needs, let's connect them to the resources. Let's spend that time, right, making those connections for them, or bringing the nonprofit in to finish those connections, right? And there has been a substantive change, right, in the neighborhoods that we're serving. And so that's kind of why I wanted you here today, because I look up to you. Right? I do. So I look up to you as someone who could actually come in and assess the work we're doing in inner city Portland. And so that's kind of what the ride along is going to be about today. Is you're going to go along with us. You're going to hang out with a guard. You're going to hang out with our nonprofit, and then we're going to get your feedback. About that. How do you feel about that?
I love that. And I love the model that you guys are creating, because this is something that I think any business can really see. And when they're like, when they look at the people that they're serving, to be able to broaden that perspective to say, okay, how are we also creating a transformation right where we're at, right? Same thing that churches should be doing, and wherever we are, even in our own neighborhoods, in our own houses, like, how am I transforming my neighborhood? Am I just staying in my own little house and not saying hi to my neighbor, and just going in the garage and not saying hi to anybody or talking to anybody? No, how are we looking out broader beyond ourselves to say, I'm going to make a change here?
I can't talk to my neighbor. They might be a member of the wrong political party.
Right?
Right? This is what we do.
Yeah.
We had all these divisions and subdivisions and subcultures within our community now that we've stopped talking to each other. Right?
Yes.
And so we gotta cut through all that, knock all that down, and actually make some friends.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So I love what you're doing currently. What's coming up right now in the future? What do you have coming up, in a couple of next week, months? I know you're doing a lot of work overseas. Right. What are you doing here locally that people can join in with?
Oh man, I love so much working with our local communities, because I think there are so many great organizations doing amazing work, and I love that as a church we're able to partner with them, right? And so love now. So one of our main things that we say at the church all the time is, because Jesus is real, we're a family of faith, fully engaged, transforming our community and our world, right? So the transforming our community and the world is really what Love Now is looking to. And so when we look into the world, there's a few things that we really focus on. We focus on food insecurity. We focus on foster families.
I love that.
Because there's such a need
Critical
in that area. And then we also look at transitional youth. So youth that are coming off the streets, right, from homelessness, trying to find a new place, a home, somewhere to live, a job, right? And so those are our three kind of main focuses. Something that Love Now does that we're really excited about is our Second Saturday events. So we have Second Saturday events that meet, like it said, every second Saturday. We meet at the church at 9:00. Now, what Second Saturday events are, they're times where we come as a community, as a church, as people from wherever and whoever can come, and we go and serve our community that's all around us. So we'll serve organizations right in Vancouver. We also serve organizations in Portland, but we send out volunteers is what we do. So we come together. We have usually 8 to 10 organizations that we'll partner with. They have projects for us to do, and then we're able to go out and just go get the work done, right? Support, love on people, build connections within each other as well, which I think is equally as important. So our Second Saturdays, those are some great things that we always have. We also have coming up at the church a foster Christmas party that's going to be coming up.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And so we just support all the foster families as they're able to come and just be loved on. Man, we have a party for them. We give them toys. So we have a toy drive that happens right before that, community toy drive.
That's fantastic.
And then we just support the families and just giving them a great, fun kind of family day where they might not always get that. But we give a place for them to do that as well.
And you don't have to be a member of this church to be involved.
No way.
And you don't even have to be a Christian, right?
Yeah,
and
no.
You can be a Jew, you can be Muslim. Anyone can come because it's about helping the community.
It's helping the community. Yeah. How do we all need to be involved in feeding people, in fact, and serving the foster families. Yeah.
I'm familiar. I know you're also helping with refugees.
Yes.
I know that you give care packages and you meet with people that are refugees from war-torn areas that are being relocated in this area, right?
Yeah. So we work with Ukrainian and Russian refugees, both coming in. When it first started a couple years ago, we partnered with LCS, Lutheran Community Services, who really works a lot with refugees as they come in, and so we're supporting them in any way we can. We're actually just going to a house that we got a great family that came in. It was a mom and her 3 kids, had nowhere to go, and so somebody from a church came and said, hey, we want to give them a house. We need to get this ready though. What do we
my
do?
goodness.
So second
Wow.
Saturday, we had a whole bunch of people go over, got the house ready, painted,
That's fantastic.
just fixed the gutters, did all the things that they needed to do. And now they're in this house and going, and it needs a little work. And so we're going to go back and continue to support this family as she's getting a job, learning English.
I'm interested in helping on that
it
project.
is so cool. Yeah.
I want to help with that project. Let me know about that.
But anything you just want to find out about Love Now, Second Saturdays, community drives, the way that we're supporting our community, you could go to crossroadschurch.net/lovenow or crossroadschurch.net/events, and you can see all the things that are happening at the church, which expand beyond that as well.
So awesome.
But those are kind of the best ways. You can register to be a part of something. You can see all the different events we have going on every month, and just come out and join us, man. We want to join with you. We want to hang out, have some fun, and serve the community. So.
Awesome. That's great. So today we're here to do a ride along.
Yeah.
And I think that we're about to go into the field. We're going to hook up with Bach, who fantastic former reserve deputy for years, EMT, right? Nice. And we're going to go patrol with him and kind of look at this in the field, what our program kind of looks like in the field, and then we're going to go meet up with our Loving One Another team.
Nice.
And go make some contacts on the streets.
Love it.
Are you excited?
I'm excited. You don't know until you're in it. So let's go.
I know.
Man.
All right, let's hit it. Let's go. All right, so we're in the car. We're gonna go head out to meet Bach.
Got it.
He had the New York Times with him, but he doesn't have them anymore. He just got into an altercation. He had a pepper spray guy.
Okay. What kind of training does it take for them to know when to go to escalate to that certain level, like pepper spray or whatever they need to do? Like, what does that look like for you guys?
The majority of the people who come to work for us already have stellar backgrounds in other related fields.
Got it. Okay.
Mental health. Maybe they did, mental health work in like a psych ward. So a lot of them come trained, but we have our own de-escalatory training.
Oh.
Remain calm and a friendly presence.
Yeah. For sure.
All right, you ready? Yeah. Leave the car.
Hey, Red. Red. Hey, Red. Hey, buddy. Can I get you a cigarette? Come on, buddy. Help me out. I can give you a cigarette. Okay, bud, come on. Okay, can you move for me, bud? Yeah, I'll be happy to, but I need you to move.
Stop.
Okay?
Touch me again, I'm
Bro,
pushing your fucking
you
mouth.
don't scare me. I need you to move, okay? I'm not your enemy, man. Okay? Come on.
Back the fuck off me!
Come on, I need you to move. I need you to move.
I need you to back the fuck up.
Come on, I'll help you.
Fuck off me!
Come on, I just need you to move.
Get the fuck off me!
Come on, I need you to move.
Get off me!
I need you to move along. I'm happy to help you. Okay?
Fuck away from me, faggot!
Okay, I'm happy to help you. I'm
Fuck
happy
away
to help
from me,
you.
faggot!
Happy to help you.
You're happy to get fucked up. You spray me, I'm gonna fucking come back and shoot you in the fucking face.
You're not gonna do that.
Yeah, I will. On my kids, I
You're,
will.
you're too nice of a guy.
On my kids, I will fuck you up.
No, I need you to move along.
I need you to fucking shut the fuck up, bro.
Okay?
Get the fuck away from me. I'm up now. Get out of my face,
I'm
fat
asking
fuck.
you to move along.
I'm asking you to get out of my face.
Okay?
I got up.
Thank
I'm out of
you.
your fucking face now.
Property wants you
Fuck
to move
up.
along.
Fucking punk ass bitch, faggot.
Ah! 705 pepper spray deployed.
God fucking damn it! What the fuck?
I saw it too.
Okay. Would you like some water for decon? I'll get you some water, my man. I have it right here. There's you got some in for your eyes, okay? Okay.
Oh fuck! You're a fucking asshole. Wow.
My man, it ain't personal, brother. I'm trying to do my job, my man. You want more water? Baby shampoo.
No.
Okay, baby shampoo. Okay, there you go.
Fucking bitch.
Don't trip, man. It'd be better if you pulled up your pants. Can you help me? No, 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 no. I don't want you getting cut.
Buy me a fucking towel!
I don't want you getting cut. I don't want you
Give
getting
a
cut.
fuck.
No, no, no. I do. You get
My
cut.
fucking hands on!
Please don't.
No.
Please don't. Please don't.
Give me a fucking towel!
Just have a seat. Okay, let us help you.
No!
Please.
Get off me!
I understand. It's frustrating,
Get
man.
off
I
me!
get it. Come on, man.
You're a bitch! Pour it on!
Okay, I'll pour it on you.
I will fucking see! I'm stupid!
Can we go away from the entrance, please?
You're fucking with me.
Look, man, I'll help you.
I don't want anybody's help! Especially you, you dipshit! You need to stay!
Okay. Well, wait. Don't leave yet.
Wait!
You're gonna need clothes. We got clothes coming for you, buddy.
What's the response of like the businesses or the community around when something like this happens usually?
No, I'm assuming that he was probably being not a friendly neighbor.
No, yeah.
And that's a lot of it. What's up, man? How's it going, family? You good? It's a beautiful day to be on a bike, bro. All right?
Living the free cardio.
There you go.
I love it, man. I
Come
love
on.
it.
Are you? Congratulations. Dude, well, they didn't give it to me at work. Pretty fucking hard work.
So we're here in Old Town. We had an incident where someone was trespassing. They're obviously drug-induced psychoses, a state of excited delirium, started stripping their clothes down, becoming violent, making threats, refused to leave the property. You know, you don't really want to use force unless you have to. Unfortunately, it appears that this individual tried to attack one of the guards. They used pepper spray rather than going hands-on, just because when it comes to use of force, it's one of the lowest use of forces that you can have. So now we're just waiting for him to recover, and then likely going to see if he needs any help, if we can get him any resources. Has he flushed his eyes at all?
Oh, yeah.
No, okay.
I gave him that whole gallon.
Yeah.
Came from me.
Okay, he'll be fine.
And then the baby shampoo and water came from me too, and
Yeah.
that was full. We've been
Okay.
flushing for constantly.
Yeah. What do you need from us? How can we help?
I don't really think anything. I mean,
He has clothes, right?
he's got clothes coming, like they're all wet.
Yeah.
This is what he was wearing along with those pants, but I got the Loa train flowing, and we're gonna get him a new pair of clothes.
Yeah. Okay, good.
And make sure I'm not handing him a weapon.
Yeah. But did he attack anybody? I mean, was
He
it?
was swinging me.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, anybody inside?
No, but
All
you
the
have
residents are fine?
witnesses. The gentleman here with the glasses was a witness.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him yet, but he's recording it or something. I don't
Was
know.
the stripping excited delirium, or
Yeah, I don't know. He just started tearing everything off.
he's
with his
definitely
pants down.
drug-induced on something, right?
Yeah, the pipe's still over there on the ground.
Okay.
Somewhere, unless somebody kicked it and broke it, but it was glass, and about that long, and a burnt end on it.
Yeah. So almost every property you see right now,
Yeah.
all of these, right? This, that big tall building, that, this, all of this entire block, that next block, they're all clients.
Okay.
They all have individual contracts.
Yeah. Okay.
So we probably have like 60 or 70 clients just in Old Town.
Wow.
Yeah, small and pop shops like the sandwich shop to large industrial buildings, so.
What do you think grew so like, I mean, it started somewhere and then all of a sudden like all these other started coming alongside and decided to use you guys, like what?
Yeah,
how
that
did
was our
growth
business
happen?
model.
Okay.
Yeah, we intentionally went out and said, hey, we're not going to close one at a time. We're going to invite everyone to community meeting, and we're going to close them all at one time.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, security isn't security unless it's 24 hours a day. And you have to have a level of saturation to get to community engagement.
Yeah.
Because as the community becomes more engaged, criminal elements feel less inclined to want to make their money in that location.
Yeah.
There's even certain neighborhoods I've told to just hire tour guides.
Oh yeah.
Give tours,
Yeah.
give free tours at night.
Yeah.
Or have like enter to win.
Yeah.
And then people come in and do architectural tour, historical tour,
Yeah.
ghost tours, whatever.
You create a presence of the community
Yeah.
and people out and yeah.
And then when that dude's on the corner selling dope, he's like, I don't want to sell dope here.
Yeah.
They're gonna go somewhere else.
Yep.
Easy stuff.
Yeah.
See, you understand that because you see that because you've been there.
Yeah.
Could you imagine standing in the hood and all of a sudden, like, people walk over, like, this building, and you're like,
Let's go somewhere else.
hit me up at another location, right? So this is really common.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a hot call because he tried to attack a
Yep.
block.
Yep.
But, I mean, we could go 10 blocks in any direction and see this same guy, right? Completely
Yeah.
naked, excited delirium,
Yeah.
meth-induced psychoses. And there's just such
How
a
many
lack.
people do you have on your blocks? Like, how many security do you guys have? Kind of.
We try to have one per every 30 to 35 blocks.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of what we,
Yeah.
yeah. And then we have floating supervisors
Oh, okay.
that float. So Mike would be one of those floaters today.
Okay.
And you can just see how middle of the day, it's kind of dead, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is.
There should be so many more people on the street. If we could just get more people on the street
Yeah.
and increase activity levels, a lot of this, people just wouldn't feel as comfortable engaging in criminal activity.
Yeah.
You know?
Where do a lot of those donations come from? Like the clothing and supplies that you give people and stuff. What does that look like?
We have strategic partnerships with government agencies and about 20 other nonprofits.
Okay.
And then we actually have buildings, multifamily residential buildings, that put donation centers in their lobbies for us, for food
okay.
and clothing.
Okay.
But yeah, it comes from county resources, city resources, churches. We work a lot with the Union. We work a lot with Union Gospel Mission.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We work a lot with Portland Rescue Mission,
Yeah.
Salvation Army. Anybody and everybody. Currently, the city of Portland is only third staffed for emergency services.
Really?
Third. Wow. According to the FBI numbers. Per capita, where they should be nationally,
Yeah.
1/3 staffed.
Wow.
I think the other day we had a critical incident. A lady tried to abduct a 7-year-old out of off one of our properties.
Okay.
And they only had 6 patrol units serving the entire central district,
Wow.
which is like 150,000 people. 6 people on patrol.
That is crazy.
I mean, that's insane.
Wow. Yeah. I know.
And policing isn't the answer, but it's part of the solution. It's part of the solution, right?
yeah. Yeah.
The
I mean,
community,
again, like you said, it's just the presence, right? If you have presence, community presence, police officers presence of all of this,
Yep.
right? All of that together, it creates something that's safe. So,
But imagine like if Love Now or CROSSROADS or other churches could come down like on a weekday and help out.
yeah.
And-
What do you think? What would that look like, Greg? What would be what if a church was to be like, man, we want to make some sort of difference, right?
Yeah.
Like what would that look like to come out in here a weekday and do what? What would they do?
So we already do this. We actually do this already, and with other organizations, including some faith-based groups. And they come and they join our team, and we go tent to tent, and we work on getting people into shelters. So we shelter. Last month we sheltered 120, 130 people.
Okay.
Right.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Ah shit! Why? Asshole, dude! Turn that fucking camera off, bro! Oh fuck!
Are y'all from Portland?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is pretty normal.
Yes. It's sadly to say yes.
So we're doing a documentary today about homelessness, and so we're just walking around.
Yeah. No. This since 2016, this has been the average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's sad to say, but no. I see this shit at least fucking 10 times a day, dude.
Yeah.
Just broke his pillow a second ago.
Yeah. No. There was a mess pipe on the ground. I saw it. And I was like, boom.
Yeah.
Smashed into bits. It probably is.
Probably is.
Oh,
He's probably
crazy.
going to look for it right now.
Yeah. And y'all live locally?
Yeah. I live downtown.
Nice,
He
nice.
also lives downtown.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
It's
Nice puppy
shitty.
dog.
Oh yeah. He's such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Love us.
Cool. Yeah, it's a sad situation, you know. People, they use so many drugs, and then they lose themselves. They just
It
come
is
lost,
sad.
you know.
From a Portlander though, you see it so often that you become so jaded to it though, so
Yeah.
quickly. Like I'm really apathetic to these people because they've seen it so much, and I've
Yeah.
seen them I've seen people, I've had friends like them, they've had opportunities to get better,
Yeah.
and they just choose not to.
Yeah.
Wow.
They've had so many opportunities,
yeah.
free opportunities to go to rehab, free opportunities
Yeah.
to all this shit. They ignored it for the drugs.
Yeah. That- And so, you've had friends of yours that were on the street, living on the street.
Yes, I've had friends. I've lived on the street before.
Wow.
I've had friends that were on heroin. They switched to fentanyl, and they changed way worse. They were okay on heroin.
Yeah.
They were okay on heroin. I hate to say it, but some people are better on heroin. I wish some people would just stick to heroin.
Yeah.
Fentanyl turns into a completely different person. Than
It's
heroin.
insane. Yeah.
Like 100 times worse than heroin would ever do.
Yeah. Have you ever had a friend that made the decision and was able to get off the streets? Did you know anyone that made a transition?
Fentanyl? No. Most of my friends either
Yeah.
stick on it or have died.
Wow.
Yeah.
My name's Alex, by the way.
Niall.
Niall, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Alex. Yeah, no, I've seen a lot of people die on the streets because of this shit.
Yeah.
And it's fucking sickening. And I really I'm pissed at the governor. I'm pissed at the governor for decriminalizing all drugs because without it, this shit would not be here.
Yeah.
When the drugs were still illegal and they would be arrested for selling,
Yeah.
and they would be arrested for having over a certain amount, and they'd go into forced rehab
Yeah.
for users.
Yeah, yeah.
It was way less on the streets.
Yeah.
The streets weren't fucking crowded with tent cities.
Hey.
Shanty towns.
How are you? It's good to see you.
I can't wave right now.
Keisha.
Yes.
My Keisha.
Yes.
You good?
Yeah, I'm great.
I'm gonna come see you later.
Okay, do it.
All right. She lives in a tent over off NATO.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go
If
say
you
hi
guys
there.
want to talk to like a camp that's clean though,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
a camp that has like a youth camp, go to 13th and Main. They might be. They may.
13th and Main.
Yeah,
Okay.
they might be willing to talk to you because they're against.
13th and Main.
They're also against this fucking fentanyl bullshit.
Okay. Is that at that church, the Unitarian church?
It's close. Yeah, it's right by the UT.
Okay, I know exactly. Okay.
Outside in.
Yeah, we'll stop by there.
Yep.
Outside in. Yeah,
It's
perfect.
a youth camp. Yeah, and a lot of them love to be on the camera too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we'll go there.
Yeah.
Y'all have a
Sounds
great day,
good.
okay?
Yeah, you
All right,
too,
you too, brother.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for talking to us.
Of course, man.
Appreciate y'all.
How's it going?
So my Keisha's been on the street for like a year now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my Keisha from the other day. So whenever you use force, even if it's like pepper spray,
Yeah.
you want to conduct a long enough period of observation to make sure that they're okay.
Yeah.
You can't just use force and leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're not really following the guy. We want the guy to de-escalate, but at the same time, oh my gosh, don't get hit.
Oh my. All right.
At the same time, we're responsible to make sure that he can see. Because
Yeah.
if he can't see, right?
Yeah.
He can walk into traffic like he just did. So we have to monitor him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, and unfortunately, he keeps stepping into alcoves of our building. So this all this entire building's ours. This
Okay.
entire block.
Yeah.
And so he just punched a car window. We don't want him to attack the museum here.
Yeah.
You know.
I know it's hard to hear that from people that live here. That they're like, oh, this is just normal.
Yeah.
Happens all the time. It's like, yeah. What are you gonna do?
This happens. What he said, 5 times a day.
10 times.
10 times a day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy, man.
That is crazy.
So he's getting his clothes on. They got him to put his clothes back on, which is good. So we'll get Bach to talk to us. Good job. Like, he has his clothes. I think he's calmed down a little bit.
Calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd like to get him arrested. You guys talk to the witness in there?
No, huh? No.
All right, I'll do it.
Yeah.
He's out here with cameras.
I'm sitting here going, I wonder, is that
Yeah,
Alex?
I'm fine with
Can't
it.
tell if that's
Yeah. Hey.
So how many times did
Good
you
to
get
see ya.
hung, faggot?
Hey, Alex.
Jack, I'm the
Pleasure to meet
property
you.
manager.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude was completely like, I was almost getting annoyed because he was being really mellow, really
Yeah.
nice with the guy.
Yeah, Bach, yeah.
Really calm, trying to get him up and all that. That dude had already, we tried to get him up off our building because he was blocking the sidewalk, making my residents uncomfortable. I got a lot of
Yeah.
elderly and disabled in here.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And even my maintenance techs made sure he was alive, and the guy said, "Hey, you fuck out, faggot," like that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so I called you guys. He rolls up, comes out, and he's like, "Hey, come on, guy, you can't be here." And the guy starts saying, "Fuck off," and then takes a swing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's lucky he got him with the nice little aerosol stuff.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Because I carry the gel.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it was ridiculous. He had his pipe right next to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, I like how fast when you guys rolled up, the fent market that was going on right there scattered.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So. But no, it was, dude. Yeah, you were mellow. very mellow. I appreciate you getting it handled.
And so you hadn't touched him. You were just trying
I
to.
tapped him because he was
Oh,
ignoring
yeah.
me. I'm tapping him. First time he was completely unresponsive. So I'm like,
Oh, that's not good.
are we looking for?
Yeah.
I got a smoking pipe, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking, is this an overdose?
Yeah,
or
yeah,
is
yeah,
this some other
yeah.
condition?
Yeah.
And so tap it for responsiveness, and then it becomes, okay, he's willfully ignoring now. And now, hey, let me go get him close.
Good talk.
Is that okay? We're right back.
Yeah. So that's loving one another, obviously, Spencer.
Oh,
we got
okay.
clothes.
Wow.
So we can cross the street. I appreciate it, man. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Good to see you again. We met before, for sure, yeah.
On the other stone.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Thank you, guys.
So loving one another's here. Get some supplies, de-escalate him, see if he wants to shelter. And so you asked earlier, what did groups do? Walk around and, we can get people into shelters. We can call people, get people into tiny homes.
Yeah.
Last month, I think we got around 140 people to transition from living on the street to a tiny home, detox, a shelter, some other situation where they're in a building.
That's amazing.
safe.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. It is amazing, actually.
Loving one another person. Are they coming? Are they just? Is that what he's doing? Just kind of driving around, just waiting to see how he can help, how he can support.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
so cool. That is so.
It
cool.
is, bro, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know. I love
It's
it.
a game changer, man.
It is a game changer. Because now they can go and do their job, and then he can spend another 20, 30 minutes, 40 minutes with him.
Yeah.
Keeping him de-escalated,
Yeah.
getting to know him. Hey,
Yeah.
all right, so you're new. Probably just got out of prison. Now, obviously, you saw the ink. You look like he's a Peckerwood or something, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so Spence will make that connect and see what we can do from there. At that point. And then these guys can go do their job.
Yes. Yeah. That is such a great. I love the working together like that of both organizations. Wow.
Cool. See what I'm saying? Like now it's a completely different. We changed the social dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Cool. All right. What's up, bro? No, we're with Buck today, man. Yeah, the Buckinator, the Buckosaurus. Dump your car, you jump in with us. Yeah. I think we're 2 minutes out from leaving here, probably. It looks like Spencer's got it under control.
We're gonna bounce. You good? We're good. All right.
All right, cool. I'll meet you at the office. All right. I was gonna talk to Rob and get us some sandwiches.
Okay.
You good?
Yeah.
He was like harassing all the people and sleeping in the doorway, and then he basically attacked the maintenance tech. So they called security. Bach was like just trying to talk to him. Because the guy was passed out, so he just tapped him a little bit. Guy jumped up and took a swing on Bach. So Bach pepper sprayed him, and then stepped back. They washed him out, his eyes out 4 or 5 times.
Away from me.
They're not on you, brother. I got milk coming for him, a big jug of milk.
Good.
So we can get his eyes
that'll help
cleared
a lot.
out. So, good. All right, cool.
All right, man.
All right, I'll get a hold of. Oh, there, right there.
No.
How you
What's up,
doing?
T?
I'm doing well. Ricky.
Spencer, nice to meet you, Ricky.
Sorry.
Nice to meet you,
Gosh,
Spencer.
Ricky
Yeah.
Franco works with Love Now out
right
of
on.
Vancouver. And
Okay.
so Spencer is our.
Camera off me.
Hey, Greg, you're good. We're not on you.
Camera off.
So we might want to leave
Yeah.
because we're escalating.
Yeah.
We're good.
I can talk.
Okay. Nice to meet you.
Foil. So Spencer will probably talk to that guy and that guy in that tent. That's Terrence.
No, I love seeing that connection between the organization. They just jump in, kind of like, all right, what can we do? How
Seamless.
can we support them? Yep.
Awesome. So we just kind of came off that hot call. Bach, do you want to kind of take 23 seconds, kind of explain exactly what happened?
If I do 24, is that okay?
Boom.
Yeah, do it.
23 seconds.
23, 24, okay. Property owner or manager rather called about an individual who was on the property. Apparently they had been smoking narcotics. They asked to have the property cleared and have the individual removed. In the process of doing so, the guy became aggressive, came at me with a fist, and he was pepper sprayed. Tried to get him some clothing, decontaminate him, and help him with comfort and all of that. But anyway, you can't win them all. It's
Yep.
kind
And
of the
he
bottom line.
was yelling at the residents, yelling at the maintenance techs.
Yeah, there were lots of threats being made and so forth. So, but like I said, the best you can do is try to help people where they're at, but you still have a job to do.
Yeah.
And so we were able to de-escalate the situation, got him off property. We got loving one another to show up.
We got him off the property. We offered him clothing. We got new shirt, new pants, Got him socks and underwear.
Awesome.
We got him resources and baby wipes. We deconned him, calmed him down, and then he's on his way.
And because of your PI background, you already found video of this guy where he had already been through prison, been in and out, changed his life, got completely reformed. There's a whole documentary about this guy online, right? And it's just a really sad situation because it looks like he fell back into drugs.
I don't know that specifically yet, but I mean, it looks like he's been through a lot, is what it looks like.
Yeah.
I haven't dug deep into all that, but I'm not going to. I mean, his thing's his thing, but you know, at this time, from a distance, we just try and love people and help them.
And you guys handled it so well. From being the first time seeing it and stuff, like you guys did so great. It was so good to see all the organizations loving one another, come alongside right afterwards and stuff. You guys handled it.
Well, the continuity of care is really where we stepped in, right? Like now it's all of a sudden, am I going to have him run away without clothing on, right? Am I going to send him out on the street and just soaking with his underwear, right? Because he can't exactly put the shirt back on again. So it comes down to me contacting Loa, saying, look, here's a guess at what he's currently going to need: shirt, pants, underwear, and you know, get him what he needs to. So
So that incident soaked up a lot of time. We got to go patrol.
Right.
So we're going to go hit the West End, part of downtown.
That's right.
We're going to hit some buildings, patrol. Right?
Yeah. Yep. Going to go visit some properties and see, you know, kind of do your thing. You know.
Yeah. It's holistic. It's community engagement, but we have to patrol and hit all the properties at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it's a real neighborhood patrol.
Lots of visits got to happen. Lots of things got to be moving around. But yeah, I need to go out and show people that we're here.
Awesome. So you're going to jump in with me?
That's right.
All right, we're going to roll.
Let's do
Sounds
it.
good? Okay. Love the shorts, bro. San Diego Patrol. Where's the volleyball court? Me too, bro.
Oh, yeah.
We'd all be in
Do you know how long it's been since I've pepper sprayed somebody?
Probably a year or two. I've only done it 3 times.
Long time. It's been at least 2, maybe a year and a half, 2 years. Last time I did it.
It affects me. It hurts my lungs. I can't do it.
I don't have to do it.
So you said you hadn't pepper sprayed somebody for a long time. So what got you today to be like, man, that was a need. Like I need to do that.
What happened was he took a swing at me like this while on the ground. There's no power there. I take half a step back, you don't hit me.
Yeah.
Whatever, homie, it's all good.
Yeah.
He stands up and is away from me like this, and then turns with a fist violently quick.
Yeah.
And I gotta give you half a can.
Yeah. Wow.
All right, and so from here, I'm gonna go do my thing. Or I've got to wait for them, right?
I mean, yes, but no.
Thumbs up. All right, let's go.
Ready?
Yep.
So we got to patrol. We got to make some rounds real quick. We spent a lot of time on that call. Good, let's roll.
Yeah, we're good. This is the place here that's usually the most heavily hit.
So many people have just left.
Yeah.
Beautiful. They just left. They're done. Like, this is where the needs are, but there's nothing, no one knows what to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's our property.
Okay, let me take a look
That's
at
our
it.
property.
I'll
Okay.
take it.
Like, every single block, like 40 properties right here are our property. Like, it just keeps going on and on.
Yeah. Wow.
So he's probably doing a report real quick. Adding like 5 or 6 photos in there, saying, hey, we just patrolled.
Yep.
Copy, thank you. I'm going to call the RP now. I don't know what's happening.
So we're just here on Burnside, man, like patrolling. Hello.
It's like a horror movie. He said it. He said,
Well,
hey,
thank you.
He said it's like a.
horror movie in person. There is nothing I have ever seen in my eyes that take my emotions apart to what I'm seeing. Just
Portland.
FYI.
Yeah.
Portland itself.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've ever seen it. It's like.
Where are you from?
It's borderline horror movie
Oh, Florida. Okay.
versus war.
Okay.
Yeah.
What you see after what war and it's not good.
It is.
Yeah.
Have you been in war conflict areas?
No, sir.
It's very similar to that.
Yes, I see.
Yeah.
They're just a bunch of beaten down human beings that
Yes.
may have the help they need, but they don't have the strength mentally to go through and follow through with it.
Yeah, they have no sense of agency. They can't even make decisions for themselves.
Yeah.
Correct. And this is a great example of a human needs to be protected from themselves.
Yeah.
Freedom is not, we don't need it this free. We need laws and ordinances in place to protect us from
Exactly.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love freedom, but we can be too free in my eyes.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks
Yeah.
for the word, man.
Yeah,
we appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good day.
Hopefully
Yeah,
you
your opinion matters.
I'm trying to stay safe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
Yesterday we had a scenario where, it's so emotionally exhausting to describe what happened.
Uh-huh.
But it was something like this. We had a attempted kidnapping. Myself and another coworker of mine go and talk to the victim and the victim's mom. We're talking to a child.
Wow.
The suspect is still standing in front of us. And throughout the whole experience, we're trying to call police. We're trying to get everything here and get it coordinated.
Yeah.
And at the end, nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
And now, like, this person who needs mental health services and who's a missing person and whose mother flew in from Arizona to search homeless camps for her.
A lady living on the streets, mental health crisis.
Right.
Believes that this other lady's daughter is her daughter.
Son, but something like something like this.
Attempts to adopt, kidnap the child.
Kidnap the child. The child's crying, standing in front of the mother.
We stopped.
We
that
stopped
from
the whole
happening.
event. The father shows up irate. He's like, I've called the police. I called the police 4 times and North Precinct.
It's been an hour.
No, longer.
Than an hour.
And then she leaves. We and Eric go on a 10-block walk with her, just updating them where the suspect is and all that. She ends up threatening us, saying, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill everything. Goes over to Pioneer Square, gets in the fountain, starts screaming and making a huge show.
Yeah.
The police essentially just, hey, look, the victim said they don't want to press charges. They were saying, we don't have a crime because we don't have a victim. I said, okay, well, what about mental health services?
Yeah.
And she says, well, we've got 2 such and such people that are specially trained to evaluate this, and they say, if we just leave her alone, she'll just go away. And I'm like, okay, I literally turned to the police officer and said, you know what? I said, you're breaking my heart right now.
Yeah.
I said, do you think that's what she needs?
Yeah.
We then later found out that her mother's been up here from Arizona searching homeless camps for her.
Wow.
Look,
And is that what we're doing to a lot of the homeless and people, right? Like, if we just forget about them, it'll be okay.
How many times do
It'll be
people in this town walk up to someone in that societal member of the community and step over them?
Yeah.
So police
Step
officers,
past them.
the majority of what cops do is called a criminal mandate. They're working with this criminal mandate. But there's a very slim, narrow part of the law that's civil, and that's with mental health. So police officers, if someone's a danger to themselves or others, they're allowed to effect a police officer hold, take the person into custody, and get them the care they need. And this essentially doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
This wasn't the first child she tried to abduct.
That's right.
It's the second child. In one day.
Wow.
This lady is a danger to other people.
Yeah.
Because she thinks that a microwave is changing the face of these children and that that's really her daughter. She just can't see her face.
Yeah.
And so this lady's going to continue to abduct children unless she's regulated and put in a situation where she can, normalize.
Well, what a burden that you guys are holding too when you guys see
Past
these
week,
things.
bro,
and
it's
go
been
in
rough. Past week's been rough.
Yeah.
I walk in at 5 o'clock in the morning. One of my coworkers went home because he was a witness to a homicide. Looks out the passenger side window, the dude gets shot right in the face.
Yeah.
And he hits the throttle. This happened. And you know what? I know the guy, the victim.
Yeah.
I've been in touch with that officer. Be like, dude, I'm just checking in on you, man. How you doing mentally? How you doing emotionally? Where you at, brother? Are you good to go?
Yeah.
Like, it's not about that. Like, you're digesting trauma that at such a wild bulk. Okay.
Yep.
That last Saturday, there was that active shooter up at Good Samaritan Hospital. We had over 5 overdoses. Over 5 in one day by our guys. Like, people stepping over. I spend most of my days walking up to people, shaking them on the shoulder. Man, bro, you all right? You good? You breathing?
Yeah.
And I just move on. You're breathing. Okay, good. That's all I have
I think
to
a
worry
month ago
about.
we Narcan 9 people in one day.
Dude, it's been outrageous. Outrageous.
Wow.
Good.
What do you think is the big next step to real social change. I don't know, right? Like,
I work on an executive level with people in the city, the county, state programs. And my suggestion is that the state of Oregon allows firefighters and EMTs to have a law enforcement mandate as reserves, right, to conduct a police officer hold. So that firefighters and EMTs can actually take people to a manual hospital without the need of a police officer on site. Because they're, you know, as an EMT, and Buck's an EMT, he's been an EMT, what, 8, 9 years?
No, more like 15.
15 years?
Wow.
I mean, you're trained to see someone that's in a real psychosis. So long term, I mean, there's a lot of good plans in place. We need more shelter capacity. They've effectively gotten rid of camping, but it's not enforced. Same thing with the narcotics. It's technically illegal to use narcotics, but it's not enforced. And there's no will to enforce it. There's not a DA that wants to throw people in jail for using drugs. And I don't know if they even should be, right? I mean, the main concern is that the drugs that we use now, all synthetics, they lead to serious psychoses, where people are out of their minds.
How you doing, buddy? You're not in trouble. I'm Michael. I work for security, work for the property. Can I talk to you for a moment? Would you like a cigarette? Yeah? Here. There you go.
So he's just recording. He just gave me a
My
cigarette.
name is Michael.
He's just wanted to-
Hey, the property manager
I'm more worried about
wants
these
to keep
dudes
the
over
door
here.
clear.
Actually, that dude looks like pretty
Okay.
chill.
Can
These
you do
dudes
me a
look like
favor,
trouble.
maybe gather your stuff and move along?
These dudes are trouble.
I appreciate you, dude. What's your name? You seem like a super nice guy. Yeah. You're Michael too? All right, my man. Do you stay around here, or do you need resources? You got food and all that? Okay.
No, you're not from the South. We all wait.
Yeah.
You know?
Biggest
No
thing
one does that up
I
here.
want to
It's
make
like a
sure people
cultural
have
thing.
is all the food and
It
clothing
is.
that they need. You know
I'm
what
South.
I'm
I'm
saying?
in Texas, you know.
Yeah, and you're good there?
I'm South, but
Oh,
it's just weird, you know. It's like
you seem hesitant. Do you have anything you need, my man?
I thought I'd stay over here. I didn't want to roll up on them.
You're all right.
Because it was already de-escalated.
Okay.
So less
Okay.
is more.
You know where you can get food regularly? That's one spot. Yeah, there's also the Union Gospel.
So I don't think
There's
he's
also
intoxicated.
Portland Rescue Mission.
Needed a nap.
Okay. Do you know where you're going to stay tonight?
You know, the call was narcotics use, but if someone was heavily
Because if you need a city
in
team
narcotics,
voucher, my
they
man, I
just
can get you
used,
one.
They'd be out. They wouldn't even be.
You
that
heard of city
responsive.
team?
Yeah. No, he looks
They're
like he's
across the
pretty,
river, right?
into the
They do
conversation.
food and they do.
Maybe hit a bowl. But he's
Yeah. Do
definitely
you want one?
receptive.
Yeah. You want a
See,
city
I guess
team
that
voucher, my
was
man? I'll
the
hook you up.
probably. So this is their
You bet.
lunch crowd.
Oh, okay.
A lot less.
Yeah.
More business, not a lot of restaurants.
Yeah. Well,
So
we came from those packed, and yeah.
So just where we were over there, no activity because of that engagement.
Gonna
Here,
be
less
out of these
engagement.
things soon here.
This is a federal building, actually.
Give them out enough.
Okay.
There's a daycare in
But
here.
you know
with
to be there
all the
early,
people
right,
that
my
work in
man?
this federal building, all their kids are in this
Alright.
daycare right in this room right here.
City
And
team's a
you would
great
think that they
ministry,
would
man.
purposely have
And
more
if you
engagement
want, bro, look,
to stop this
look,
activity,
I'm not
but
your mom.
people
I'm
don't
really
think
not. I'm
they
your
don't
friend.
think that way.
But if you want like help with treatment, you know, they can help you with that too. Okay, bud. All right. Let me write this up for you. Okay. All right. Good to meet you. And if you need, hey, look, we're friends. If you need anything in the future, you let me know, my man. All right, buddy. Hang on there. Thank you. All done.
So back to West End?
7:05, I'm clear here, and 7:10. Are you good to go there, or you need a hand?
I don't see anybody so far. Yeah,
Copy. All right, well, I'll head back to West End. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. We just wrapped up this call. You said narcotics use. The guy seemed to be pretty coherent, though, right?
Nice guy.
Probably smoked a bowl, maybe a joint. Didn't seem like he was on fentanyl.
No, but
No.
very nice guy. Very receptive to getting resources. We
Oh, good. You got
chatted him for a little bit. Got him a voucher over for City Team Ministries that
Done.
overnight.
Love it.
So
Nice.
he's gonna go
Good
get
job.
a shower, get a good night meal, I offered him resources and just said, hey, look, if you need anything else, reach out, let me know. Gave him a cigarette. We made friends and parted ways. But
I love it.
Yeah.
So we just got a call. People blocking a doorway, likely narcotics use. We're en route. A couple minutes away.
All right, my name's Alex, bro.
I am in the middle of filming.
Nice to meet you, man. If you see me around, and you know Spence, Big Spence.
Can I call you back later?
No. If you, I work with Spence. So if you see me or Spence or Terrence or any of us around, bro, please know that we can get you into a shelter, right? Even if it's only for a week or two, you know, get cleaned up a little bit, maybe some new clothes or whatever. Like, living on the streets, bro, it's hard, man. That shit's hard, it'll eat you up. The streets always win, bro. You can't win on the streets. The streets always win. Feel me? Hey, are these yours? Hey, my man. Are these your sunglasses? No? Okay. Dude was really nice. He knew Spencer. I mentioned at the end. I was like, bro, we work with this security company, and we just try to talk to people like we talked to you today. I asked him, I said, I'll drive you to City Team right now.
Yeah.
I will take the rest of my day off. I will. He's like, maybe not today, right? And so basically I just told him, hey, like, could you work with us? If you move, then that company that he works for, they won't get any more calls today. And we don't have to keep coming back here.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know it's a lot to ask, bro, because when you're on the streets, you feel like you don't have any control over anything.
Yeah.
And the last thing you want to do is give up your ability to make decisions for yourself to somebody else like me. But bro, seriously, bro, I'm just trying to work with you. I ain't that guy trying to control you. And he's like, nah, that's cool, man. I can move. It's not a big deal. So.
Nice.
Some yelling. So hopefully they're gonna demolish this 3/4 of this block right here.
Really?
Pretty much condemned right now. Not this one, but this one up on the right.
Yeah.
You doing all right? Hey, you need anything? Okay. Hey, sorry, I don't know how close you were to Wolverine.
Yeah.
Were you close to him?
No. He
Okay.
died?
Huh?
He died?
Yes, sir.
He died?
Yeah.
Why? When?
I don't want to block your way, but I want to whisper. Dude, he was shot.
Really?
Yeah. This is what everybody's telling me, including the guy who was there.
Wow.
Yeah. I hate to be the one to tell you, but I thought you knew. I was just going to offer my condolences, you know, my man, but
Yeah, I didn't know. Holy shit.
yeah. Yeah. Did you remember that? You remember the shooting recently, like a couple nights ago at the Shake?
No.
Shake Bar? Up by the parking lot up there on 4th, you know?
It's actually a lot easier than
Yeah, I don't know the story, I don't know the details, but apparently he got into some altercation with a dude and he got shot in the head. Happened right in front of one of our
I
houses.
guarantee you, if you got like 5 or 10 volunteers
man.
and we went to the pit
Okay.
for 2 or 3
Do
hours,
you need a
which is that
cigarette,
area
man?
I showed you an old
Oh,
time.
yeah.
I know you got one, man, but I don't care. I'll give you some.
And we spent
okay?
like just feeding people,
Okay,
giving
I'm
out.
really sorry.
You know,
Look,
for
you need
water.
anything, you hit me up, okay, brother?
We could. I bet we would
Okay?
get 2 people.
City
to shelter
team
that
ministry,
day.
whatever you need. And we'll do what we can to help
No,
you,
that doesn't
okay?
seem like a lot.
Yeah.
Because there's 100 people there, bro. But
Yeah.
you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. Every person's important, man.
Good.
He's a friend of the dude who got murdered.
Oh,
And he
wow.
didn't know it. He didn't know he got murdered.
you just told him?
I told him, I said, look, man, I'm really sorry. He's like, what?
Yeah.
I had to tell him. I'm like, look, man, I'm sorry about what happened with Wolverine. He goes, what are you talking about? Like, Wolverine was shot. He's killed.
Damn. Bro.
Yeah. I don't want to be the death notification for anybody else, but
Yeah.
he's like, I didn't know that. I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like, a couple nights ago, he was shot in the head. And he's like, I didn't know.
That's rough.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. No more calls.
No more calls.
Good.
At least not right now. None holding.
Awesome.
Hey, brother, you okay?
Do it again.
Hey, brother, are you okay?
Does he look like he's breathing?
It looks like he's breathing.
Hey, my man. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. I'm on the phone with 911 right now.
Yeah.
That's a lot of alcohol.
Yeah. He's also pissed himself. I think I smell feces as well.
Yeah.
So he's pretty out of it.
Oh my God.
You don't
I know he's having trouble breathing. Can I get you to stand back, my man? I'm an EMT. Can I get you to stand back, please?
Hey, bro. Hey, come sit over here with me, man.
You alright, right?
Hey, buddy.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
That woke him up a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Come on, buddy. A little stern roll, but won't hurt him. Come on, buddy.
Come on, bro.
Take a deep breath.
There you go. Is he breathing?
Yeah. That's a lot of alcohol.
He is Gary, an Air Force veteran. Any of you are in the military?
Yeah.
Hang on a second. Watch your fingers. He slumped over forward with these two
forward,
bottles.
and then he went back and boom, hit his head.
Whoa.
on
Hey! I'm kind of glad we stopped.
Yeah.
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 There we go.
Hey, Gary. We're going to get you in the ambulance and you're going to go to the hospital, buddy. Okay? Can you shake your head? Okay, so you know you're going to the hospital?
I think you guys might end up needing to tube him. Yeah, come look.
Hey, buddy. Hey, man.
He was found slumped down, face over. We know his name's Gary. 2 empty bottles next to him. He's been very unresponsive, highly intoxicated, shallow breathing the whole time. I can barely feel a pulse. Occasionally I get something that looks more than agonal breathing, but here we are.
Hey. Is that Gary?
Yeah.
Oh, I just did that.
My name is Michael. I'm an EMT. Yeah. Pretty good, man. How are you?
That dude easily could have died.
Yeah. Yeah.
He would have just rolled back, threw up, and choking on
And then
himself.
died. Yeah. And so easy to everybody just walk by him and not even notice.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's everywhere.
The O2 sat measured at 89. O2 saturation is a measure of bound hemoglobin in the blood. Hemoglobin binds to oxygen, but it also binds to carbon dioxide, so you have to use that with a little bit of interpretation. 89 is super low. Typical you and me sitting around, you're going to be 99. You're going to be 99. You're going to be 98. You're going to be jogging, you're going to be like 97. You're never going to get that low. So he's not breathing.
Yeah. Wow.
You can offer emergency medical care under Good Samaritan law until professional medical care becomes readily available.
Got it.
Then
Yeah.
it stops.
Yeah.
Which is why when they show up, I immediately
Just
give
step back.
a report and I'm out.
Yeah.
And you're
Unless I'm being directed by them to
continue
assist
in
by
something.
right?
Okay.
Which I can do and I can tell them, and it's like, hey, we're good to go.
Yeah.
No, he's breathing poorly, but breathing, and it looks like it's substance alcohol, intoxication. Yeah. It looks like severe alcohol intoxication.
Give him a card. Your management should hire us.
Yeah. What do you guys do?
We're the security company. We have like.
We're looking for security at this hotel.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this is like the busiest street.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll let him know.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
We do across the street. We have like 50 clients in the area.
Yeah.
We'll let Bach wrap up. So, Bach, let's do a recap real quick. So, I was driving. And
just basically driving. I mean, normally when we're moving around, I'm, concerned about the people that are around me. And so when I see somebody that's down, it doesn't look like things are going so well, we'll usually just shout or look at their shoulder and determine.
We rolled
if
the
they're
window
breathing.
down.
Yeah.
We shouted at him.
Shout. There's no response. Then it's like, okay, get me out. I need to do a shoulder shake. I do a shoulder shake.
Nothing.
And at his feet is a lot of empty alcohol. And so at that point, then you just jump into full assessment, making sure that he's both breathing properly, has a good pulse, has his airway open and maintained, and that you get 911 activated and getting here quickly.
For what I noticed immediately, for a guy sitting in the sun,
Yeah.
his skin was real white. And
Yeah,
his
mottled.
Lips,
Yeah, it's
his
terrible.
lips kind of even looked a little purple or blue to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he wasn't breathing properly.
Yeah.
So when the medics got here, I heard them shout that his oxygen saturation was at 89. You know, typically you're going to find somebody more than a 95 that's cruising around.
That's right.
If you are a cigarette smoker that's habitual, you might get like a 93. You might even get worse. Then you start getting into like home oxygen problems. But 89, there's an issue that has to be solved. And so, given the fact that his pulse was thready and I had a hard time finding it, we maintain the airway, keep it open, put him in the recovery position until we didn't see breathing, then move him back just to make sure he's not vomiting and so forth. But I mean, should his breathing had dropped a little bit more, it would have been CPR. Start
Done,
CPR. Yeah. I was
He also fell
contemplating
back.
in my.
He also eventually he woke up, fell back, and hit his head.
Yeah, I
as
was
well.
contemplating in my head just starting compressions right then, but I'm like, where am I at? Because if you're breathing, you've got a pulse, okay? But he was breathing a little bit more than agonal. Agonal is like one of those things that's brainstem. It's not life supporting, and it's like, and then like 6 seconds go by, and then, so you're not moving enough. There's not enough exchange to sustain life. So glad we did a little shoulder shake.
You were checking his femoral artery.
Yes.
Also, I think maybe
central,
up in the shoulder.
carotid.
And then
Yep.
his carotid.
Yeah, checking everywhere. See if I could find a pulse. It was so hard
And it was
to find
slow.
on it.
It's almost as if it was slowing, right?
Yes.
Until the medics got here. So
yeah.
Good find.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah. All right.
Glad he's okay. Glad we stopped.
Yeah.
Shoulder shake complete.
Good
On to the
catch.
next one.
All right. Good talk.
Good catch.
Good talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now, after what just happened, we're just going through Alex's medical kit. Some of it's trauma related, some of it's just bumps and bruises and such. Right now, just giving it a once over to make sure that it's got everything that it needs. Okay, this is, okay, we need to stage this differently. Everything looks okay. Okay, no, I'm not gonna complain about that. This should be in here, unless you have some other crazy reason why it needs to be in another spot.
We're gonna head this way.
All right, that's good for me. Yeah,
No, this is for you to keep.
We should, great.
To replace the other one.
We should go through that, freshen it up a little bit.
Cool.
I'm looking for chest seals. I'm looking for Israeli bandages. I'm looking for
I
combat
thought I had an
gauze.
Israeli in here. I know I got it somewhere.
You have a SWAT T in there.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you've got some quick clot. So we had a little bit of improvement to do, but I've seen worse.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, me, you know.
I mean,
Something's better than nothing.
Again, that guy, that was amazing, man. You jumped in there.
So good.
That last call. You kind of get, you just get inundated by the whole environment. How many people do we see passing out all the time? And you took the initiative to stop and actually contact that guy. Likely saved his life.
Yeah.
He could easily have passed out and vomited, suffocated on his own vomit, asphyxiated.
I tend to think that looking at him and it would not. I think that if we had left him alone, we'd have had a bad outcome.
Yeah.
I really do. Nobody likes to see people out here hurting like that.
Yeah.
I know that that's the guy, but I think the culture, the community in general has to start being willing to look down and lift a brother up. You know?
Well, it reminds me of that conversation we had earlier, and the guy was just like, "Wow, this is just normal. This happens 10 times a day.
Oh yeah, I see.
Not even a big. I seen not even a big deal."
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, and it reminded me, like, as we were going, and you noticed that guy, and I thought to myself, like, man, why didn't I notice him right away?
Yeah.
Like, what's holding me back from seeing that?
That's right.
And it's because it's this place, like, you just become blocked, like, no, this is just normal. Why?
Yeah.
And so for me, it meant a lot to me to be able to see, like, how you can watch out for that, and thinking, yeah, that's what we do. If we're watching out for the one person, and if everybody watches out for that one person, what a change it can make. What a change it can make in the community and in the lives of other people. And
just during this little patrol time that we've had together, we, what the audience is just now finding out, which we found out like during lunchtime, was that loving one another was actually able to, that guy on the street, Jesse, who actually tried to take a swing at you, he was able to get him into a facility, and so we transitioned him into care successfully. He's under supervision right now at a facility, and it's actually probably the best facility he could be going to.
Yeah, right now for what he needs, I think the mental and alcohol and counseling and the services that he really needs I think are really going to be found there, and I think he should be able to find himself a grounding to
Absolutely.
be able to just set some peace and then start to put the puzzles back in. Because right now, what it ended up happening is out on scene, we found out shortly later that he was suicidal, and he met all the criteria for somebody who's actively in crisis. And just because he's quiet and not moving doesn't mean he's not in crisis, because the crisis happens here and here.
That's right.
It's heart and mind. And if those two things are in a state of brokenness and in a state of pain, then what can happen is if we're ignoring them, then that doesn't get corrected. That doesn't get healed. But right now it looks like he's in a great spot. Hopefully he can continue that trajectory and heal.
That's awesome.
What a great example of just within a few hours at the beginning of a life transition or change that can happen. And then we're like, well, what can I do? Well, just within a couple hours, this whole change happened, right?
Exactly.
Which is amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
And so that was the first person we contacted, transitioned them into mental health care.
That's right.
Right, someone that was combative. I mean, in the typical scenario, that person hit somebody to go to jail. They get another felony on their record. But now hopefully this might lead to a long road of recovery for them, right? Yeah. Second person we contacted, we offered him the ability, we said, hey, I'll take you to City Team, I can get you hooked up right now, we'll drive you over there. He was like, that sounds good, but I don't want to do that today. So we made a good contact there. He already knew Spence, he already knew loving one another, but again, that's one more contact. Yeah. You ask someone 20 times, that 21st time they're gonna say yeah.
Yes.
And then the third major contact we had today during the shift was this guy right here. I mean, literally, this guy was 30 minutes away from dying, from passing out and stopping all activity, breathing activity, right? So, I mean, that's a successful day.
Yeah, yeah.
It really is, And you did it all, man. It's up to you. It's all you, bro. I love it.
It's not put on any one person. Like, we're all responsible for the people that are around us. I mean, I tell people all the time, what is love?
Yes.
What is it? And I can tell you what it's not. It's not the feeling of you have the butterflies when you're asking someone to go to the prom. Because love is the devotion to the well-being of others without regard to the cost or their response.
Yeah.
So being devoted to who needs what. I'm devoted to you. So a fireman running into a burning building and there's people inside. I'm devoted to your well-being. You're showing love.
Yeah.
I don't care what it costs me. I'm here to help you. I love you.
That's right.
Yeah. And so all of Portland really is in a state where there's so much shock and awe and horror and pain. But really it's, look, who is it that's right next to you that's in a position of hurt and pain so much where you can actually show love and kindness to them and say, man, okay, maybe this is only a 15-minute contact, but I mean, I'm not afraid of making another friend. How about you?
No.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the other contacts we had today was you conducting that kind of death notification.
Yeah.
You noticed a guy on the street that we work with all the time. You mentioned to him that his friend had just been shot the other day in front of one of our guards.
That was really unfortunate. I assumed at the time that he had known about the decedent, and I assumed. I mean, look, you can always make mistakes, right? And I mean, you don't want to be the one who dropped bad news, and you don't want to be the guy who delivers that. But I walked up to offer condolences and ended up finding out that he didn't know. And I mean, we're all affected when we have people that we know that die. But at the same time, like, hey, if you need anything, man, let me know. I'm happy to help.
In an atypical community, you would be getting contacted by the military or law enforcement, a chaplain, and so you're fulfilling that role.
Yes.
On the streets.
Yeah.
That's a vital piece of communicative role, that role in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right? And you provided that today. Just that small influence, being able to take that social dynamic and be an influencer in that dynamic at that time, positions you to be able to have leverage in someone's life.
Yeah.
And be able to speak hope into their life, to speak faith into their life.
There, but for the grace of God go I. Because, man, I can tell you, I've had more than one negative encounter in my life, and I've had more than one time where I felt like I've been down and been kicked and such. And I can remember a very vivid time where people said things that significantly hurt, but it is what I needed to hear. And those moments I will never forget because they changed my life, and I was able to say, okay, look, this is where the boat's headed. It's not directionally correct.
Yeah.
I'm not headed in the right direction. And it doesn't matter how long it takes to get to a destination, but if I'm headed in the wrong direction, it will never get there. But if I keep pointing in the correct direction and just keep taking steps, every day a step, then you can get from here to Seattle on foot. I mean, but you're going to run into bridges and construction sites, and you're going to run into rivers and people, and you're going to run into all sorts of obstacles, and you're going to run into needing food, and you name it. And but the point is if you keep yourself directionally correct, you will get there.
Well, you guys set an example, an amazing example, I think, of when we talk about love, because I know we were talking about love earlier too, and the idea of like, what does it mean to love other people? And I saw you guys do that, so giving people water, giving people food, giving people the things they need, giving people even just a moment of your time to just say, hey, I'm sorry. What an amazing thing to take those moments throughout the day, even in the midst of all the other work that you guys are doing already, saying this is more important right now. This person is so important that I'm going to stop and do that. So thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming on the ride along, man. I'm excited to have you here.
That's so good.
Gosh.
That's so good. Thanks. You guys.
We appreciate everyone from everyone here on the team, you know, always playing their role and their part. And we're going to have more of these. Check us out online, the Ride Along Podcast. Ricky Franco, check him out, Love Now, at CROSSROADS Church in Vancouver. And of course, Echelon, bought from Echelon. Appreciate it. Enjoy it. Have a great day. Got another call?
No, I'm just upside down and alligators and 25 reports behind, and some of them are going to take probably an hour to write. It's just going to be okay, you know? That's what it is, man. I want to go take off my body armor somewhere and soak in a tub and voice dictate. No.
There you go.
I can't do that.
I know.
I love it. It'll be so much easier.
They always spell my words wrong.
They do. It's just more work.
Yeah, you have to go back and you're looking through every single word.
This is the guy.